and welcome back to my channel. This is Amber Lay Amore here, and I am back with another video. So today I'm going to be doing a chit chat get ready with me, and let me just like reiterate the words chit chat because at my last chit chat get ready with me I was getting comments asking me why I was talking too much, and the title literally said chit chat get ready with me. Like I was literally confused about that. So I just want to make sure I emphasize that this is a chit chat get ready with me. I'm gonna be doing my makeup in this video as I discuss some topics that I've been wanting to discuss for a minute that have been going on in the media. So this is just basically going to be a discussion. You guys saw in the title, saw in the description, and kind of have an idea what I'm going to be discussing. For some reason, things that have been going on have really been taking a toll on my emotions lately, and I have no idea why. Maybe I need to get off social media for like a week or so. But we're going to discuss it, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to get into it. Just to let you guys know, it's a chit chat get ready with me. I'm going to be putting my makeup on, but it's not a makeup tutorial, so I'm not really going to be getting into detail about what I'm doing. So if you do have any comments or questions about what I'm doing, just comment below. Products that I'm going to be using are going to be in the description box below, so just so you know that. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into this video. I don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer than you should. Let's get into the video. So for those of you who don't know, unless you've been living under a rock, everybody should know that the rapper Nipsey Hussle was murdered, which is so freaking sad. Like, I found out coming after work, because that's when everything was being posted on social media and all that. Right when I was coming off of work, like there were feeds posts on the Shade Room on different platforms like that saying that he was shot, and then I kept refreshing until they said that he passed away, which is so sad. And like, by the way, I'm using the Morphe 12P palette. It just has like these pastel colors, and I'm starting off with the yellow. I'm not gonna lie, I did not listen to Nipsey Hussle's music. I wasn't like a fan of his music, but I did know of him very well. I knew of him and Lauren London. I knew of his businesses. I watched like a bunch of interviews that he had on the internet and on YouTube and the Breakfast Club and things like that, and I respected his mindset. But you know, sometimes you never get around to listening to certain people's music. It's kind of like that, kind of weird, but that was me in this situation. I never really got a chance to really listen to his music. But I knew he was nominated for a Grammy and all that, and I knew he was with Lauren London and had a child by Lauren London. And I just feel so bad because at the end of the day, this man is like, not only has he achieved accomplishments that he's achieved, but he's also a father. Like, he is a father, and one less father left to raise a child, you know what I'm saying? And that's the disappointing part. And more than ever, I'm disappointed with the Black community. And let me tell you why. It's because I feel like we don't spend the time to hold ourselves accountable for situations like this, for violence and crime and all that. Like, the first thing, I'm not gonna lie, I was on that train too, that I was like, oh, you know, maybe, like, first thing people said, oh, it's because he was coming out with that documentary on Dr. Sebi. It was Dr. Sebi. The government did it. Like, it was a government planned thing. He was gonna expose too much information, the Illuminati, all of this. But that's not the case at all. I believe that's not the case at all, and I feel like people still believe that that is the case. I mean, we found out that his killer was caught on surveillance camera. At first people were saying, like, how did they get him so good? It must have been like a military style hit because they got him so good. It wasn't a military style hit. The guy was close range, so he shot him close range. The first time he shot him and he ended up on the ground was the lucky shot, but he got the other two kill shots close range. No military, nothing. You didn't need any type of skills to accomplish that. That's like one thing. Yeah, so people are just keep saying that it's more than what it really is, and I really think it's simpler than what people are putting it out to be. And the issue is, we have to hold, as the community, the Black community, whether you're in LA, New York, we have to hold ourselves accountable for what we do to one another and how we harm each other. Like, Black on Black violence, Black on Black crime is a big issue. You know what I'm saying? We do more damage to ourselves than we think other people do to us. And we don't, and there are a bunch of people saying like there's no way this was gang related because the type of person he was. Nipsey was still Crip affiliated. You know what I'm saying? I'm not to say that I'm blaming him for any of this, which I'm not, because I know he wasn't out here begging. He was at his store, you know what I'm saying? Just being him, doing him. But he was killed by someone he knew. And it took the people are still blaming the police officer. It took the police literally a little less than 48 hours to figure it out. It's Tuesday. He died on Sunday, and they already have his killer in custody. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think too deep. They're like, why were they treating him so well? For those of you who don't know, like not so long ago, maybe a couple hours ago, they did catch his killer. And they did arrest his killer, but people are still going, you know, the cops were treating him too nice. This must have been an inside job. He must have murdered Nipsey for them. He was already cooperating. He was already a snitch. Just like, for once, we need to hold ourselves accountable. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, this guy was mentally ill, mentally deranged, and that's the issue. We're so focused on the conspiracies, the government, and we talk. But what are we gonna do about it? We talk about the government all the time. Oh, it was the government. It was a hit. It was the Illuminati. It was this. They were holding secrets. We're not doing nothing about that anyway. So are we gonna talk, or are we just gonna actually try to work to solve the issues that we can, which is mental health amongst the Black community, okay? Because obviously something wasn't right with this guy, you know what I'm saying? And gang violence, Black on Black crime. Like, let's try to fix the things in our community that we can fix instead of blaming the government. You know what I'm saying? And some people might have a problem with what I'm saying, but it's kind of like we're quick to blame our issues on other things, and definitely, you know, we've been held back and by situations that we are not able to control, the Black community. But we need to focus on right now the future and trying to change these issues. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you guys think it was the government. You guys just talk. It's just talk. Like, let's focus on what we can do now. One person, I definitely feel bad for Lauren London, because I just remember, like, the last thing I saw was that when they had a little photo shoot together and they was on a horse, and I was like, oh man, I wish I could do something like that. A horse, like, imagine. I would love to have like a picture like that for like my kids to look back on and be like, oh my god, my parents were so in love. Like, I just loved them as a couple. So my heart definitely goes out to Lauren London and their children, truly, honestly and truly. But one thing I think people are forgetting, this man has a mother also. And I hear a lot of people like, my heart goes out to Lauren. I mean, like, Lauren is the one person we know. She's the one person we know because, of course, she's a public figure. But we cannot forget that this guy had a mother and a father. You know, I don't know if his father's still alive, but definitely still has his mother around. We can't forget that those are people that are also hurting as well. I haven't seen anybody mention that in the media or anything like that. So I was like, let me just Google, like, who is his mom? Like, who are his parents? I know his dad is an immigrant from a country in Africa that I have not had the chance to really research yet. Yeah, but when you search, Nipsey Hussle's mother, Lauren London pops up. You guys should try it. Let me just do it I don't think you guys will believe me. I'm gonna search right now on Google. Look, you see where I search Nipsey Hussle mother, Lauren London pops up. That is so weird. That is so weird. He actually has a mother, so there's a grieving mother out here, in case you guys don't know. Just putting it out there, someone grieving their child as well. Like, nobody should have to go through this type of pain at all, ever, for the stupidest thing, whether it's a guy with mental illness or whether it's the government trying to put a hit out on somebody. So R.I.P. Nipsey. And I know this is something that definitely put everybody in a terrible mood. Who saw the Us movie? Like, nobody saw this movie. I keep trying to talk about this movie with everybody, and each person I approach, they're like, oh no, I didn't get to see it yet, I want to see it, oh my god. Well, see it then, so I can talk to you about it. But yeah, I thought the movie was dope. Everybody's saying they like Get Out better. I did like Get Out better, but I like this movie also. Like, it is the type of movie where you have to, after it's done, you'd be like, okay, I gotta go on Google and look up what the hell I just saw because I'm confused. But you just gotta think about it in a different way. Like, stop wondering what's going on in the movie and start wondering what the underlying message is. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get into the spoilers, so if you guys have not seen the movie and you don't like things getting spoiled for you, I'm gonna put a big spoiler alert right here, and I'm gonna give y'all 5 seconds to click off. I have a jump cut in the description box, so you guys can click on that and it'll put me at the next topic. But if you don't want to hear this, so do that. I'm giving you 5 seconds, alright? Alright, let's get into it now. Okay. What happened in the movie was a woman named Adelaide, when she was a child and she was at the fair or Santa Cruz with her family members, her parents. She wandered off into like some type of fun house, some mirror house, and it actually ended up being a gateway to like an underground tunnel system that contained like an underground world where clones existed. So everybody basically has a clone, and for those of you guys, a lot of people wanted to learn more about what was going on with the clones, how they were created. It's not really about that. All you really need to know about that is that the clones, basically the government were trying to create clones to control people above ground. So they're trying to create clones for each person to control people above ground. They had a bunch of rabbits there because they were testing cloning rabbits first before they started cloning humans. And then they abandoned it ended up being a failure because they realized that the clones, the humans were up top, were controlling the clones at the bottom. So they ended up abandoning the whole thing because they realized that the humans were still able to control the clones. So when they abandoned it, they left the rabbits, so all the clones had to eat to survive down there were rabbits. And basically everything like life-changing or anything that happened to the humans up above ground was happening worse to the clones below ground. So it drove them crazy, it drove them mad, and basically the clones were just very like mad, ended up being mad people, violent, all that. And the third, okay, so Adelaide, as a little girl, the main character, she wanders off from her parents, ends up into the entryway to the tunnel that leads to the underground clones, and because she was wandering off, her clone below was wandering off. So they ended up wandering off to the point where they met each other, okay? So when they met each other, apparently they had us thinking that it was just something that was very traumatizing for Adelaide, because after Adelaide got found, she went missing after she got found. She couldn't speak and anything like that, and she was just traumatized and she was different from then on. That's what they had us thinking throughout the movie, but then later at the end of the movie they revealed that Adelaide actually switched for her clone. And since the clones didn't speak English, they just grunted, they didn't really have a language. That's why Adelaide, she couldn't speak above, because she was the clone and the clones didn't know how to speak. She had to learn the whole talking thing from scratch. She had to learn the language from scratch. But the switched Adelaide, basically, but we're thinking it's the real Adelaide, grows up, ends up adjusting to life, adjusting to the world, ends up getting married, having a family, and they make their trip back to Santa Cruz where Adelaide first went missing and switched with her clone. And I don't want to summarize the whole movie, but because I don't have enough mouth for that. Stuff ended up going down, alright? Masquerade by Juvia's Place, and I took the yellow and orange color from here. I'm going into the color Ada right here. Basically, long story short, end of the movie, the clones end up killing everybody except, but Adelaide and her family ended up getting away. Adelaide ended up killing her clone, which actually was the real Adelaide. That's why she was able to, she was the only clone that could speak, because she was a real human. So they knew down there she was different. So she became like their leader. But the clone Adelaide ended up killing the real Adelaide, and the whole family ended up driving off into the sunset, into safety, and they were good. Alright, so that's basically what's the end of the movie. But let's just get into the theories. Some people think it was about slavery. I think since Jordan Peele said the director of the movie, said it wasn't going to be about, he said it wasn't going to be about race. So I wasn't thinking about it from a racist perspective. Some people were saying that the underground was like the Underground Railroad, and like the leader, which was Red, Adelaide's clone, was Harriet Tubman. I was like, okay, that's a stretch. That is a stretch. All right now. I didn't believe that. But I think it's more about the rich versus the poor, like the wealthy versus the not so wealthy. I feel like the people on the underground were the people that were affected by the rich, because you know how anything that they did above ground, anything that benefited them, didn't benefit the underground people, the clones. So I think it's something about the rich and the poor. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer, like something along that stance. But I couldn't really get all the hidden messages that went with it. One thing that I really like, one theory that I really strongly believe and really feel like that was like the truth, absolute truth. So Adelaide had the family, she had the daughter, I can't remember the daughter's name, but she had the son, Jason. I believe that Jason was also tethered. I believe he was also a clone. But yeah, I truly believe that that boy was tethered. They talk about going on a trip a year prior when the grandmother died, and those were like the hints people were missing. And I feel like they wouldn't discuss those things if it wasn't the case. But they went on a trip prior. They went back to Santa Cruz, back to that home when the grandmother died. And what they did was, what they were saying happened was that ever since they came back from that trip, Jason's been acting weird, strange. They weren't saying because they went on the trip, they were saying because the grandmother died. So they kept saying, ever since, you know, grandma died, he's been acting different. But it's really not the fact that the grandmother died. It's really because he was switched, because they keep talking about how one time, while they were on that trip a year prior, Jason got locked in the closet for 15 minutes. Or I guess basically nobody, because nobody knew where he was for 15 minutes. They say he was locked in that closet, but it could have been anything could have happened. He could have switched. And when they were in the car going back to Santa Cruz, they were singing, they were jamming to that song in the car, and both him and Adelaide, which you already know Adelaide was a clone, could not snap their fingers. And we know the clones don't have a soul. That's why the experiment went wrong with the government, because they couldn't attach a soul to the clone. So they didn't have soul. Basically, like, you don't got soul, you ain't got rhythm. So Adelaide and the son didn't have any like rhythm, but the son once did have rhythm. And there were certain like hints they would put in there, like the son couldn't used to be able to do a magic trick. The reason why he couldn't do the magic trick is because he was switched. So only the real Jason could do the magic trick, and they kept saying there were a bunch of things that he used to be able to do. Like, there were so many new changes in him. And he had a new vocabulary, like he was saying weird things, and the family kept saying, who are teaching you these words? And it's because he learned different, because he's not the real Jason. And some people are saying like the tether don't have a language, so how did he know how to speak? It's because the real Adelaide taught him. Because the real Adelaide knew how to speak English, even though it was a little weird. It was like kind of like she spoke it in a way that was just like, okay, that showed she doesn't really use it, or she hasn't used it in a long time. Some people also say it's because she got choked out by, there was a scene where she got choked out when she got switched. Some people say it's because of that, but Adelaide could have taught him the English language, and then just trained him on the real world based on what she remembered and set him out. So look into that theory. And also there's a scene where like the family was coming after them in their home, and the dad asked Jason to get his bat, and Jason was like, where's the bat? And the father was like, how do you not know where my bat is? Like, no son does not know where his dad keeps his bat. He was like, you should know where that is. Like, it was a bunch of weird stuff. They at first had it looking like Jason had some type of autism or Asperger's or something like that. But I don't think that was the case. I think they wanted us to think that at first, but I don't think that was the case. I think that's just what they wanted us to think in that moment, but I don't think that was the case. And at the end, where the boy ended up getting killed, Jason killed him by backing up, forcing the boy to back up into the fire. But if you think about it, the tethered boy, the supposed tethered boy, he was the least violent out of all of them. He didn't have scissors. He didn't do anything to hurt Jason, nothing violent. Even though he was like, they were all slow to kill, he never did anything violent. So it was like, there's something a little different about you. And then, you know, they were saying how his face was burned. And Red said, oh, it's because he was born to the fire. I don't think she meant that literally. I think his face was burned because, you know, the magic trick with the lighter, the boy couldn't do it up top because he wasn't the real Jason. So as he tried, below, the tethered Jason was trying with the matches and burning himself. Because whatever happens above there happens down there. So worse down there. So whatever he couldn't do up here, he couldn't do the magic trick. So each time the boy would try to do the magic trick and would be burning his face to the point where he couldn't even speak. His face was burned. So he couldn't ever say, you know, hey, I'm your son. And he kind of gave Adelaide a signal. When he was snapping before he got killed, he was snapping in rhythm. And the boy couldn't snap in rhythm. So he was snapping in rhythm saying, hey, there's something here. And I think Adelaide realized in that very moment that that was her son. And you notice when Red ended up taking the boy, she just took him and put him in a locker. She wasn't ever violent with him or anything like that. She just grabbed him. But that might have been because that was her actual real son. She probably wanted to keep him safe. And at the end of the movie, you know, the boy gave Adelaide this look. They both gave each other a weird look. When we realized Adelaide was for Adelaide, the boy was looking at her, and some people think the boy was looking at her because he was kind of realizing that that wasn't the real her. But I think he was looking at her because they both had the understanding, like, listen, if you ain't saying nothing, if you're not gonna say nothing, I'm not gonna say nothing, and we gonna ride this one out. You know what I'm saying? I think the boy definitely, like, if he was switched, he was enjoying the life that he had, so he was not about to go and change that for nobody, for no one. So I think that's why that happened. Like, he was not about to, you know, be like, oh no, I'm gonna be with the tether because that life was terrible. So definitely you guys should look into that theory. Other than that, I really haven't had any time to look up any other theories about that movie. I did enjoy it. I do enjoy Jordan Peele movies, and I'm like, I can't wait for the next one. I did like Get Out a little better because Get Out had like a really fun story, like that people could really like. People knew what was going on, and there were little things in between, like little stuff in there people could poke at and be like, oh yeah, I think this is about this and that was about that. But people knew what was going on. I think with people were more confused with the Us movie than anything. Tell me what you guys thought about the movie Us, if you saw the movie Us. Alright, yeah, I did a lot just now with my makeup and I'm still looking crazy. But I put on my foundation and like I contoured and all that. And I'm just gonna, you know, apply some concealer. This is Tarte Shape Tape, one of my favorites. So I wanted to also address the whole Cardi B situation. Last week, Cardi B, well, it resurfaced. It's an old video, Instagram video, but it resurfaced of Cardi B. You know, I guess it was her responding to people saying she didn't deserve what she got or what she had. I'm not sure if that's when she won the BET award or what moment in time that was. But you know, people always telling Cardi she don't deserve what she has. You know, Cardi always loves to respond to what people have to say on the internet. She's always the first one there to respond. So basically, she was responding to that, and she basically said, ranted about how what she had to go through to get where she was at and what she had to do to survive as a stripper. We all know she was a stripper, but she basically revealed that she used to drug, like pretend like she was in having like guys come over to a hotel or whatever to have sex with her for money, but in actual reality she would drug them and take all their things for money. I don't know what she would use the money for, if it would be for studio time or for what, like, but she was saying, you know, this is what I had to do to survive. So, you know, a whole hashtag came out, surviving Cardi B. because she's literally admitted to drugging. I don't know how nobody caught this before, but she literally just admitted to drugging men and stealing their things, you know? And listen, don't get me wrong, I love Cardi, but sometimes I feel like her mouth is her biggest enemy, like, for real. Like, and you know, Cardi could do nothing wrong in people's eyes, so a lot of people are making excuses for it, and I think that's where the controversy lies, because everybody's like, all right, why is everybody making excuses for Cardi, yet R. Kelly, yet Bill Cosby are facing jail time and all that? Here's my opinion. I absolutely think Cardi should get some type of backlash from this. I don't think that was like something like that is like, I don't think it, people are questioning whether it's equal to what Bill Cosby did with drugging and raping or what R. Kelly did with pedophilia, and I feel like just because it's men dealing with these issues that nobody really cares, you know what I'm saying? Or it's because they're like not really, they're not tricks, but they were paying for sex, so they were doing something illegal anyways, so they deserve to have something illegal happen to them, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess basically saying that, you know, they weren't saints either. They were trying to pay for sex. So, I mean, that's what they get. Those are the excuses people make. And I think honestly with Cardi, like, she should have never admitted to something like that. And I know she knows that nobody's gonna do nothing to her. She could get away with whatever she does. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's been so many times this girl, I actually really like Cardi B, you know what I'm saying? I was a fan of Cardi B, and I feel like I said this in another video, from before Love and Hip Hop. Like, I knew of Cardi B when she was still doing club hopping, club touring, and she was like 100K followers on Instagram. I knew Cardi B from like then, you know what I'm saying? I knew she was like a stripper. She was like a loudmouth stripper that was like just famous on Instagram, and she used to post funny videos. I knew her from literally then, so I watched the whole come up, so I was like super proud of her from that. But it's like certain things is like you could take the girl out the hood, but sometimes you can't take the hood out the cheek. And it's the same with men, not to just come at her, because same thing with rappers. She's kind of doing the same things. And there's a difference between saying something and admitting to something in the music and admitting, you know, just talking. Like, it wasn't even in her song. A lot of people say they do things in their music that they don't do. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference between her and rappers. Some people are saying rappers say stuff like that all the time. Rappers don't always admit to that type of thing unless it's in a song. And you can't take what people say in music, you know, as the truth, and that just is what it is. Cardi like straight up just said, I drugged and I robbed. That's terrible. Like, and what I didn't like is that she keeps made the excuse of like, you know, this is what I did to survive. No, that's kind of, I just didn't like that. That was kind of BS to me, because it's like, no, that's not what you needed to do to survive. You didn't need to do that. You did that because you needed money for studio time. But you didn't need that for anything necessary. You didn't need that to get you off the street. You had somewhere to live. You had clothes. You had money in your pocket. You already had a job. You were a stripper. So, like, that's just an excuse, honestly. And that's BS to me. Like, don't BS it. If things like that, it just show me what her true character is. And it's like, I can let that something like that slide, but the question is, how many things are we going to continue to let slide when it comes to Cardi B? That's the question. That is the question of the day. How many things are we going to continue to let slide? And isn't it crazy how something happens to Cardi B, Nicki Minaj is always like, her name is always being brought up, and it's crazy. Like, I kind of feel bad for Nicki these days now. Nicki does not have to be doing anything at all, and the haters are hating. People are so quick to forget what, you know, someone like Nicki Minaj brought to like the music scene. You know, as soon as the next person comes up and so F you, it's like people were clowning Nicki, clowning her when Cardi got the Grammy. And I'm like, do y'all not remember 5 years ago when you guys were rapping Roman Revenge non-stop. I still love you, Nikki. So y'all, apparently Keri Hilson is coming out with the new album, and I'm ready to hear it because I know I used to love Keri Hilson, and I still to this day don't know why she took such a long break. Apparently she was going through depression and an abusive relationship, and she was blackballed and all that. But I still I'm wondering what happened to my girl, because I loved Keri Hilson. I really did. I really did. I actually saw her not too long ago, in person in Atlantic City. Had to have been 2 years ago. No, actually last year. But come on, Pretty Girl Rock, Knock You Down, y'all do not sleep on Keri. I legit ran out of things to talk about. That's why I brought up Keri Hilson. You guys can tell, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to comment below what you think of this discussion or any opinions that you may have. Once again, if you have any questions about my makeup or anything like that, I'll be glad to answer it in the comment section. Just comment down below, and I will list all the products I use in this look in the description box. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Even though I'm just starting off on YouTube and getting started, I appreciate every view and every subscriber that I get, every comment that I get from you guys. I post videos once a week, and I'm gonna be trying to get more consistent than that. God willing, the more video ideas and things like that I have, then the faster I'm able to post videos. So just comment below if you want me to do it. Any other type of video like this, or if you have any video ideas for me, and I will be glad to do it, you guys. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more, because this A train right here is about to take off soon, you guys. I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care.